Hello and thank you for joining me today. Today I'm creating a canvas for the Words and Painterly Color Challenge for October. As you can see, it's a deep, dark navy, gold, and green. Here's the canvas that we'll be creating today. I started by building my focal point, which is this bulb from Prima. I added a bit of Finnebar's gold metallic paint to the back and left a slight zigzag pattern in the paint. And then I attached it to a tag from 7 Dot Studio so you would really see the pattern of the zigzag. After I adhere this, I'm going to set it to the side to dry and I'll cut away the extra bits later. Next, I painted the base of my canvas with Finnebar's black gesso. I just did one coat because I'm going to add some later. All my base embellishments that I knew I was using, I went ahead and added black gesso so it would be a little bit easier to do it this way than on the canvas later. Now you can see that I'm adhering my base elements to my canvas, and you'll see me start adding some other bits. You can see that I've already painted my Relics and Artifacts heart, and that will be the base for my focal point. You'll see me continue to add all my bits and pieces around, lots of little gears from Umlauf Studios, some American Crafts, some creative embellishments. There's just lots of little bits, whatever was in the gear box. But most of it is chipboard for this. That Keys metallic, I'm not sure where it came from, it was just in the bin. After I get everything where I want it, I'll remove my focal point again so I can start covering everything again with gesso. After I add these last couple bits to the sides, just to give it a little bit of dimension on the side because it is such a thick canvas, I wanted to make sure that it didn't get lost. Everything gets dried, and then, like I said, more gesso. It's really important to make sure that you're not going to have any bright bits popping out for this technique with the mica powders. So I'm really taking my time to get that brush in there and get the gesso in all the nooks and crannies. As you can see, there's still a couple little pieces. I'll probably touch those up once I notice them. Oh, I guess I didn't. But here you can see that I'm adding some Lindsay Stamp Gang, and this one has a really pretty shimmer to it. It's I believe it's Afternoon Delight denim, and it has a really, really beautiful blue mica in it. Next, you can see that I'm adding some of I think it's gold doubloons, and then I'm going to continue to add. I'll add some Magicals, which is Ponderosa Pines Olive, and just a little bit of water to move that around. I'm drying between each layer here because I really want my colors to stay where they are. I don't want them to get muddy. Next, I'm adding a little bit of Finnebar's Deep Water acrylic paint to the heart, and I'll add some around the canvas just to really make the blue stand out. I'm spraying it with water just to make it move around a little bit, make it a little bit more fluid. And then I decided that it was too bright, so I went ahead and added some of the Lindsay spray on top of it, and that really deepened it up a bit. Next, I'm starting to add my wax, and I used a lot of the Antique Brilliance. I used the blue and the green, and then some Vintage Gold. Here you can see I'm trying to decide where my focal point is going to go. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the wings, but here you can see that I decided that I really needed to make them match the rest of the canvas. So I added the layer of black gesso to them, and then I added some of the wax to it. Here you can see I'm just continuing to add the wax around the canvas. This time I'm working with Lucky Emerald. A lot of times I'll use my finger, but when I'm trying to work in subtle dimension, I'll use a brush to try and get the bottom layers. And now you can see that I'm adding the vintage gold. The gold, I really focused on the heart to make my centerpiece really pop. I'll continue to add more gold on that later. But here you'll just see me playing with the wax until I'm happy with the final look. Here you can see that I'm adding my focal point to my canvas. I had a little bit of a hard time getting this to balance correctly. Even with the heavy body gel, which is amazing, I still did have to add some cardboard behind it just to give it that dimension that it needed and the stability. I added a gear just to give it a little extra bling, and here you can see that I'm trying to find something to balance it on so it would dry flat. I decided on the brush, and after it was dry I came back to add some details to the sides of the canvas. I decided to add some stamps with some art quotes on the side of the canvas. These stamps are from Unity. I'm not sure what the collection is because they're just in a pile now. But I'm embossing them with gold embossing powder, and I put a couple stamps on each side of the canvas. Here you can see that I've decided I want to add more color to the sides of my canvas because it is such a thick canvas and I didn't want it to be left out. So I'm using my brush and working with my brush and my finger more wax into the canvas. And I'm sorry, I know it gets out of focus here and it kind of makes you a little seasick, but I really wanted just to show you the whole process. So I'm just continuing to work the wax in, trying really hard not to take over the canvas completely. I wanted it to be subtle with brilliant color, and it is, but it's hard sometimes just to stop. The wax is so fun to play with. It's just sometimes you have to say, okay, it's enough. But here you can see I'm continuing to work with it. Here you can see I'm adding my last little bits of vintage gold wax around my canvas, just really subtle, just to really make it pop. And I'm using my finger. As you can tell, I've blended it in the palm of my hand and I'm working out of the palm of my hand. It did take a long time for the heavy body gel to dry. However, it is firmly in place now, I do assure you. And that's it. Here's how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate any comments or questions. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope that you'll join us over on the challenge blog, and we look forward to seeing what you create. Have an amazing day, and thank you. Bye-bye.